Welcome to the reading of the Times Reporter newspaper for Friday, December 11th. My name is Pam, and let's begin our reading with the area deaths. Larry Lee Dixon, known as Doc, 78 of Dover, didn't cross the finish line. It was the starting line on December the 12th. Services are over. Tom Sutton Sr., 85 of Scio, went to be with the Lord peacefully on Friday morning, December 11th. Funeral services will be Wednesday, December 16th at Kilgore United Methodist Church at 11 a.m. Visitation will be from 10 to 11 at the church. Malcolm Clyde Young, 94 years old, of Janaden Hutton, died Friday afternoon on December 11th in Cleveland Clinic Union Hospital. There will be no public service for Malcolm at this time. A memorial service will be held on a later date. And this concludes the reading of the Times Reporter's area death notices for Monday. For December the 15th. And let's move on now into our first article. COVID-19 related death reports in Tuscarawas County. The New Philadelphia City Health Department and the Tuscarawas County Health Department were notified Monday of a COVID-19 related death in the community. This brings the total number of COVID-19 related deaths in Tuscarawas County to 106. The deceased is a 94-year-old man. As of Monday, there were 5,105 cases of COVID-19 in Tuscarawas County, an increase of 241 cases since Friday. Of that number, 1,415 were active cases and 3,584 were presumed recovered. Community Family Health Center will be hosting a drive-through COVID-19 testing event from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday at Ohio Star Theater, 1387 Ohio Route 39 in Sugar Creek, next to the Dutch Valley Restaurant and Bakery. Nasal swab tests will be available for individuals of all ages. Results are usually available within 48 to 72 hours. There is no out-of-pocket cost for the testing. All fees will be billed to Medicaid, Medicare, and private insurance. There also is no out-of-pocket cost for uninsured individuals. These costs are being covered by funding allocated in the CARES Act. A Midvale food distribution to be held. The Village of Midvale and Midvale Methodist Church will hold a food distribution from 3 to 6 p.m. December 17th at the Village Hall, 3111 Barnhill Road, Southeast. The distribution is for residents that live within the Midvale Corporation limits. For information, please call 330-340-2746. Kidney Kindness. A Carrollton Woman's Donor Campaign helps land transplant for a stranger, by Paige Bennett. When a stranger contacted Nikki Fraschieri on Facebook offering to donate her kidney, Fraschieri didn't expect it to amount to anything. Fraschieri, 30, of Carrollton, had gotten numerous similar messages over the last 2 years from people expressing an interest in donating, but they usually stopped replying or found they weren't a medical match. It was different with Sharon Matthews, 55, of Delroy. At first I was like, it's just another person, Fraschieri said, but she was very, very persistent. As Matthews began the process to find out if she could become a donor, she regularly updated Fraschieri on the progress. Months went by as the two remained in contact. In October, they learned Matthews was a needed match. Fraschieri couldn't put into words the feelings of gratitude she experienced. A stranger was giving her the kidneys she desperately needed. That's someone who is not even related to me, didn't even know me, but would offer that type of gift to me. I can't even describe it, she said. The discovery. Fraschieri, diagnosed with kidney disease in 2016, endured a long, tireless search for a donor. She noticed something unusual while she was attending Kent State University's East Liverpool campus for the Occupational Therapy Assistant program. In the program, students practiced taking one another's blood pressure. Mine was consistently high, which was odd, she said. I just kind of figured I'm in school, I'm going to have boards coming up. Of course it's going to be high. She wasn't too concerned because she expected it to decrease after she graduated in 2016. When nothing changed, she went to see a doctor. Blood work showed her kidneys were functioning at roughly 30%. I didn't have any signs or symptoms of anything wrong, she said. I felt perfectly fine. For months, Frasheri attended doctor's appointments and underwent tests. In the beginning of 2017, Frasheri had a kidney biopsy which revealed she had ANCA vasculitis, an autoimmune disease that causes the body's small blood vessels to swell. It's just a whirlwind of emotions that you get because then you start thinking, what now? What's going to happen to me? She said. For a while, Frasheri said doctors were uncertain if she would need kidney dialysis or a transplant because some people can live a long time with low functioning kidneys. I just graduated from college. I was getting married. I bought a house in 2017. I'm like, is my life going to be ruined by this? Like, I'm not even 30 years old yet, Frasheri said. Worsening effects. Over time, Frasheri's kidney functions got worse and she started to experience swelling and fatigue. By October 2018, she was on dialysis and almost daily treatment to remove toxins and unnecessary fluids from the body. When Frasheri started dialysis, the port was placed in her chest, which she said created a lot of discomfort. Her shirts would rub against it and the port would flop around if she turned when she was sleeping. After about a month, Frasheri said a catheter was placed in her stomach to allow her to do dialysis at home. She began doing it 6 nights per week for 7.5 to 8 hours at a time. A night owl, Frasheri said it was difficult to be limited during the evening because of dialysis. Instead of doing stuff I wanted to do, I had to be hooked up to a machine, she said. Getting the word out. As she continued with dialysis, Frasheri's doctors discussed the possibility of a transplant. Frasheri's blood type is O positive. Faced with a wait could be up to 7 years, she decided to look for a donor herself. I'm like, I have to get the word out there. I'm going to spread the word. I'm not going to sit back and do nothing, she said. With the help of her friends and family, Frasheri launched a donor campaign. She advertised through a variety of methods, including a car show fundraiser, which featured a bake sale, silent auction, and raffle. Friends and families created t-shirts, car decals, and bracelets to raise awareness. The merchandise contained an email address that people could contact Frasheri at if they were interested in becoming a donor. Wherever we went, the word was getting out, she said. A decal covers the back of Nikki Frasheri's car. A large sign that said, "Kidney needed, type O+/O- was displayed in her mother's front yard on State Route 43 between Carrollton and Malvern. Frasheri said the sign garnered the attention of many drivers who would stop to take pictures. In addition, Frasheri created a Facebook page to answer questions. I constantly post updates. I don't feel embarrassed to post any of the pictures. I post of what the scars look like, what my incision looks like. It's a comfortable space for me to post what's going on, she said. Magic match. Matthews contacted Frasheri on Facebook about becoming a donor over the summer. Months prior, Matthews had heard about someone in the Carrollton area searching for a kidney. One night, she and her husband went to dinner at Jimmy's Backyard Barbecue, where Frasheri works. As they pulled into the parking lot, Matthews noticed the decal on the back of Frasheri's car. The pair talked about Frasheri's need. I asked her, "Have you had any luck or anything?" As she told me there were a few people being tested, but she didn't have any designated donors, Matthews said. A few months passed. Knowing her blood type was O positive, Matthews started doing research and continued to check to see if a donor had come forward. When she learned no one had, Matthews began the process. Matthews said she decided to donate her kidney because she saw a woman with her entire life ahead. It made her think about her own daughters. My husband and I have 3 beautiful daughters who are grown and out of their own, and I couldn't imagine if something happened to them, she said. The procedure took place November 16th, for Sherry said she didn't experience nerves until the doctor started hooking her up to an IV machine. She woke up groggy and disoriented. My mom had posted a picture of me with that thumbs up sign. I don't even remember that, for Sherry said. Matthews said she felt safe and confident going into the surgery. She met with the doctors numerous times prior to the procedure, and they answered all of her questions, so she didn't have any worries. Since then, she has experienced some tenderness in the spot of the incision, which she said has made her move a bit slower. I'm like in turtle mode, she said. During the recovery process, for Sherry said she experienced a significant amount of pain, but that it has gradually decreased over time. For Sherry and Matthews remain in touch since their surgeries and continue to check in with each other. For Sherry said one of the biggest changes she noticed since the surgery is that she has more energy. She also said it's been enjoyable to no longer have to worry about doing dialysis at night. I'm trying to get used to being in the mindset of, oh, I don't have to rush to hook up to a machine at night. I can do whatever I want, for Sherry said. Matthew said being a live donor is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that allows you to make a difference in another person's life. Being able to give somebody else a better quality of life, and to help somebody out in general when nobody else can, that's the best feeling in the world, she said. Additionally, for Sherry said receiving a transplant during a year that has caused so much difficulty feels like a blessing. There's still good in the world right now, she said. Like, I feel like I just beat 2020 with everything going on because I got the greatest gift of all. The New Philadelphia firefighters send off a retiring lieutenant. Firefighters gave a retiring lieutenant a special send-off on Friday. New Philadelphia Lieutenant Mike Perch said his colleagues went out of their way to make his last day on the job after 32 years memorable, picking him up for work in the ladder truck and giving him one last ride to close out his final shift that evening. Perch said they also had a cake and lots of cards waiting for him at the station. Perch's retirement plans include touring the country with his wife and buying a winter home in Florida, but he says he will be stopping by the station occasionally to catch up with the guys whenever he's back in town. Perch said Captain Jim Schultz is taking his place heading up the city's Fire Prevention Bureau that conducts annual safety inspections at the roughly 850 businesses located in the city. Well, a bridge replacement alters traffic on 77 North. The Ohio Department of Transportation wants area drivers to be aware of some changes as they're heading north on 77 and approaching Canton due to a bridge replacement. District 4 spokesman Ray Marsh said the 77 North lanes split off just before getting to downtown Canton, with the left lane of northbound traffic crossing over onto I-77 South. Marsh said if you stay in the right lane of 77 North, it has you take the State Route 800 exit. This can get you to 30 West, since the ramp from 77 North to 30 West is being closed, get this, for 2 years. Marsh said taking the right lane to 800 will also get you back to 77 North if you stick with the detour. This traffic pattern will remain into place until fall of 2021. And now, hospital waits for a COVID-19 vaccine. Cleveland Clinic Union Hospital officials are looking forward to getting their frontline healthcare workers vaccinated against COVID-19, although they do not know yet when that will happen. Governor Mike DeWine announced Monday Cleveland Clinic Hospital in Cuyahoga County will receive a shipment of the Pfizer vaccine on Tuesday. Union Hospital spokesperson Darren Lautenschlager says they're waiting for word on when the vaccine will make it down to the Tuscarawas County location, where healthcare workers who directly treat patients will get the first doses. He said 44 COVID-positive patients are being cared for at the Cleveland Clinic Union Hospital, which is about the average for the last few weeks. And sadly, Christmas in the Park festivities are canceled for Sunday. McInturf Realty won't be transforming New Philadelphia's Tuscarora Park into a winter wonderland this year. The Realty was sent to host its 24th annual Christmas in the Park event in a drive-through format this Sunday, but owner Jan McInturf said that's no longer happening. He said they have people out sick with COVID-19, making staffing the event a challenge, and city leaders were also concerned that it would create traffic issues like they saw with the parade a few weeks ago. McInturf said it's something they look forward to every year, so they're as disappointed as anybody. He says the event will return to the park in its regular format next December. Newcomerstown man honoring late wife with a toy distribution. A Newcomerstown man is honoring the memory of his late wife with his second annual toy and bike distribution. Robert Ferguson will be donning his Santa suit and beard Saturday when he and his team of helpers pass out items he's been collecting over the past year for at least 300 kids. It starts at 10 a.m. in front of his home in the 400 block of West State Street. He says it's something he and his wife Karen were working on together prior to her death last year. Ferguson said he made a promise to her that he would keep it going. And now, health officials offer holiday safety advice. Tuscarawas County health officials are sharing some wintertime safety tips to keep in mind around the holidays. County Health Department spokeswoman Jennifer DeMuth said there can be a variety of fire hazards this time of year, starting with your Christmas tree if you don't keep it watered. She said as far as Christmas decorations, monitor younger kids and pets around the outlets and cords. DeMuth also said don't forget your medical needs, starting with a seasonal flu shot for an added layer of protection. And she says always bundle up when heading outdoors for any amount of time to prevent frostbite. There's a search warrant offers details on biker gang-related drug activities. A search warrant application is providing new details about the investigation that has 2 local men jailed at an undisclosed location on federal conspiracy charges. 54-year-old Philip Bonanno of New Philadelphia and his nephew, 25-year-old Cody Bonanno, are accused of conspiring with 3 Pennsylvania men to distribute more than 500 grams of methamphetamine in one of 3 federal indictments unsealed Tuesday. A search warrant application the FBI filed with the Western Pennsylvania District Federal Court December 4th lists Philip Bonanno as a suspected member of an Ohio chapter of a biker gang known as the Pagans Motorcycle Club, and the other men as suspected members or associates of the club's Pittsburgh chapter. The Pittsburgh group's headquarters was one of 11 Western Pennsylvania locations FBI and ATF agents raided Tuesday as part of a nearly year-long drug and firearm trafficking investigation. Authorities used surveillance cameras and court-authorized wiretaps to gather information on the transactions and suspected drug storage locations. The indictment also alleges that Philip Bonanno also conspired with one of the same men and 3 others to distribute a large amount of cocaine. A spokesperson for the Western Pennsylvania District Attorney's Office said Cody Bonanno will be arraigned in an Ohio federal court Monday, and that they would not be opposed to him being released from custody ahead of his trial. A hearing has not yet been scheduled for his uncle. And now, The Barnhill Village Council, December 12th meeting. Key action: Jenny Engler of Barnhill and Brian Lewis of East Sparta were both hired for the part-time snow removal position. Discussion: Engler and Lewis attended the council meeting to express their interest in the position. Council went into executive session to discuss the matter. Engler will be the primary contact for snow removal, with Lewis serving as backup. The rate of pay is $13 per hour. In other actions, agreed to continue police protection through the village of Midvale. Police Chief Brian Anderson said that he will work with Midvale Mayor Larry Kopp to deliver a revised proposal for the police and fire protection contracts to the January meeting. Adopted a resolution to contract with the Tuscarawas County Sheriff's Department for the housing of prisoners. Agreed to spend up to $5,000 for the purchase of a new salt spreader. And, for your info, Mayor Mike Oler reported that 11 families received money from the village in lieu of Christmas baskets. Council felt that cash may be needed more than a food basket this year due to the difficult times we're living through. A large donation from the Cowboys and the Steel Plate groups, formerly known as the Long Riders, made the cash contributions possible. Councilman George Smart noted that he had keys made for all of the village's vehicles and equipment. Smart gave Mayor Oler invoices for the reimbursement. Up next, they will meet on January 9th at 10 a.m. in the town hall. An arrest warrant to be issued for a man accused in the storage unit thefts, by Nancy Molnar. An arrest warrant is to be issued for a man who failed to appear in court Monday on charges filed in connection with a string of thefts from storage units. Glenn D.W. Skinner, 19, of Uriksville, was scheduled to have a final pretrial hearing before Tuscarawas County Common Pleas Judge Elizabeth Lehigh Tamakos on 2 charges of breaking and entering, 2 charges of theft, and 1 charge of receiving stolen property. He has pleaded not guilty. The offenses are alleged to have occurred December 1st, 2019 and December 26th, 2019. A trial has been scheduled for Tuesday. Defense attorney Travis Collins said Skinner told him he was in an Akron hospital with his nephew on Monday morning. After a meeting in the judge's chamber, Assistant County Prosecutor Robert Urban said Tamakos would issue a warrant for Skinner. And a card shower is requested for Ruth Ann Scott's 80th birthday. Sue Kimball is asking people to send cards to Ruth Ann Scott for her 80th birthday on December 30th. Ruth Ann does not want gifts, gift cards, or money, just a nice card, and for you to share a memory, Kimball said. Scott was born and raised in Carrollton, where she graduated from high school. She started her career at the General Electric plant in Dover. Most of you know or remember Ruth Ann as the Lemonade Lady, Kimball said. She has traveled throughout the county and beyond with her lemonade stand to festivals and events, making the best lemonade ever. Ruth Ann and her husband Gail live in Midvale. They share a blended family of 7 children, 20 grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Cards may be sent to Ruth Ann Scott, P.O. Box 105, Midvale, Ohio, 44653. I will repeat that. Ruth Ann Scott, P.O. Box 105, Midvale, Ohio, 44653. And on to Crime Report. In Tuscarawas County, shoplifting was reported at Bell Stores, 11089 State Route 800 Northeast in the Magnolia area at noon on Monday. Theft was reported Monday in the 6100 block of Riverdale Drive Southwest in the Newcomerstown area. In New Philadelphia, a radio was reported stolen Monday morning by the owner of Finish Line Coin Laundry, 139 Front Avenue Southeast. The thief wore a black trench coat and a black cowboy hat. A man found to have been staying in the laundry room of a building in the 400 block of West High Avenue was told to leave on Monday morning. A woman took 2 coffees from JV Marketplace at Newtown Mall on Sunday evening. A motorist reported that a female backed into her vehicle at Broadway and High Avenue and left the scene, according to a report filed at 6:07 p.m. Sunday. A witness said a male took mail from a mailbox in the 200 block of Dale Lane Northwest on Sunday morning. The witness said the perpetrator left after he yelled at him. The thief was seen putting a white package into a backpack. He was carrying a blanket. A man from the 400 block of 5th Street Northwest said his prescription medicines, buceprone and gabapentin, were missing on Sunday. Well, friends, that concludes the area readings for the Times Reporter for Tuesday the 15th. My name is Pam, and I'm asking you to please stay safe and stay in if you can. Be blessed, do what you can do. Make it a great day.